Hello, I'm Robert Moore, and this is my presentation for Assignment 22. It's entitled 1 Minute Past Midnight. Here are the two images that I'll be displaying for the exhibition. The first one is the Natural History Museum that's been submerged with water. The second is a panorama of London that has been buried in the desert. The direction for the exhibition is that the images should be printed on aluminium panels, sized at 40 inches on the long edge. The location of the images should be in individual rooms with dim lighting in the room, spotlighting on the images. There'll be an audio, tick-tocking of a clock running at a slower tempo than would be expected. The room should be slightly chilled. This should make people feel a little uncomfortable as they enter. With the first image, I'd like to include a mist of water that occurs as people enter into the room. The second image would have the room filled with a fine layer of sand. The intention for the images was to produce a window into the future, one in which we can witness the possible effects of climate change were we not to attempt to prevent it through our own inaction. To do this, I wanted the message to be both powerful and extreme. The best way, I believed, was to layer images of London against extreme conditions. Firstly, filling the Natural History Museum with floodwater, then to bury London under the desert stand. The reason for my approach of altering reality, yet coupling it with realism, was due to having an audience range of 25 to 55-year-olds, which is quite vast, so as such I needed to maintain a broad appeal. I didn't want to include text as that would isolate half the audience, and by having famous monuments, locations, it would create a timeless feel. My images combined with the way I intend for them to be displayed will evoke multiple senses and make the concept more visceral for all the members of the audience. I want this to plant a seed within them that will be longer lasting than forcing a message upon them, more alluding it to them, to allow them a more compelling journey in which they can discover a meaning from within themselves rather than having it spoon-fed to them. On a personal level, I believe that this is the strongest way to deliver a message, as having a more aggressive approach can be off-putting to certain demographics, and the focus will be drawn to the photographer rather than the image, like Richard Prince with ownership and Extinction Rebellion with climate change. Thank you for listening to my presentation.